welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of February 9th, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me here today, two individuals. Maybe they're getting ready to buy some flowers or chocolates for that special someone. I'm not sure.
Benjamin Daniel Lawless, you know it. Yeah. Support the Valentine's Day corporate machine, everybody.
Kevin Kraft. Here.
Yeah. Devin Kraft says, don't support the machine, F the machine.
Rage against the machine.
Well, speaking of corporate stuff, and the Super Bowl was yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Green Day played the opener, before the Super Bowl, not the halftime, but before the Super Bowl, they showed it. And it was, this happens all the time because most artists have an anti-establishment feel, but Green Day in particular, they're anti-establishment and political. Yeah. And they even played the song Holiday and American Idiot, but just to be playing those songs and being a punk band, but you're at the most corporate event in the world.
Well, I think that this particular year's Super Bowl had a tinge of rebellion through all of it, right? You watch
anything besides
the halftime show with Bad Bunny.
I imagine.
Yeah, you watch the halftime show with Bad Bunny. That was unapologetically Puerto Rican, and they leaned into it, and I'm here for it. And so, to get the reaction of we need someone who's more American than Bad Bunny, which that's nonsense because of Puerto Rico is an American territory. For them to say, okay, you want an American band? Well, we got Green Day. We didn't have to drive very far to go from Oakland to the San Francisco Stadium.
That could have been part of the Green Day choice as well, not just a political thing, but hey, it's local. They're local. Let's get locals.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess I was just hoping Green Day would do something more overtly political, but the song choice, I guess itself is political. So
in any other era, but right now, those songs are crazy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They are very outspoken and damning songs. But in the current political climate, it's just it's just another thing. Things have gotten so extreme on both sides that's average. Green Day is just an average thing now. They were in this climate that we're living in now, they were a safe choice. Think about that. Green Day was the safe choice. Yeah, and
but I could imagine that there are a lot of other bands that they could have, that were safer, quote unquote, than Green Day. 100%. I really think that this was a bit of the NFL trolling, the people who have sworn that they're not going to watch it because of the Bad Bunny decision, and this administration.
Yeah, it's funny that the NFL, and I think you're right. I think there was part of that, which is good. But it's funny that the NFL is the organization making a somewhat left-wing statement of, just how far to the right everything has gone, that the NFL, a famously conservative organization, is left-wing.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. Yeah, what a world we live in.
Goes to show you how far things have really gotten. And really, hey, everyone, stop looking left and right. Start looking up and down. That's where the real fight is.
Yeah.
All right, but this is a podcast about science and science fiction, so let's talk about those things. No, this is good. This is all we got to deal with all of it. However, there's a couple of neat sci-fi things that we need to talk about. A couple of shows definitely that we got to talk about here. And I kind of want Ben to go first. So here's the thing. You've got not only some Starfleet Academy stuff to talk about, but also your Jaws theory, which I love both of those ideas. And then Devin and I were talking pre-show. He finished the second season of Fallout, and so have I. So we have that to talk about. So let's hit our real life stuff here. What have we been consuming? Real life, we should change this to just consumption with a question mark. What have we been consuming?
I don't know.
No,
I like, so like I always thought about real life as being one of those things where it's a question that's asked of us hosts of what's something that moved the needle for you this last week that, like, as if we haven't already heard about it, because we're friends and we talk all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
what moved your needle?
And so we were watching Jaws, my friends. It's been a long time since I've seen Jaws. But I watched it with my son, my 12-year-old. And amidst all the kind of jokiness that we had, there was one interesting theory my son had, which is, so y'all know Jaws is a story about a shark that keeps on attacking. And the town of Amity, who they basically, for a very long time, dismiss the problem as just like, hey, there's really no problem here. We need to keep the beaches open because we need the tourist dollars. And so this is kind of a fight of wills against Chief Brody, Roy Schneider's character, who is the chief of police, who's trying to shut down and protect the town, against the mayor, who is and so all this going on, and my son's like, what is going on with this mayor? And he came up with a theory. He believes that the mayor is the shark.
That is very clever of him, because that I think that actually is the point. I think the book goes into more themes about that.
Oh, okay.
It's based on a book, and also specifically, I know about this because the song by Ice Nine Kills called "Rocking the Boat," which is about Jaws, does a good job of having that like double meaning, where they're talking about like the mayor and the political system, and not just the shark.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Like the first verse is, "We all know the place that appears so sublime, but if you dive a little deeper, you'll hit the real bottom line. The head of the town is out there flashing his teeth, a telltale sign about to surface if there's a monster lurking underneath."
Okay. There you go. But I think that, like, okay, so you're going from a metaphorical perspective. My son's theory is based on, like, what if he's really the shark? What if he's in a human suit? And and there's actually kind of interesting evidence supporting this.
I want to hear the evidence.
Yeah. All right. So number one, here's this guy who's the only person who's not dressed like the rest of the humans on the beach. He shows up to the beach and he's in a two-piece full-on suit, and he's walking around encouraging everybody to go swimming. Like talking to different members of the and he's like, hey, why don't you go swimming? Later on, after the second or third attack happens, and he's in the he's in the hospital, and he says to Chief Brody, well, my children were on that beach too. Now, he doesn't necessarily say that they're human children or if they're sharks.
Okay.
But
okay, so like, Exhibit A wears human clothes, right? Exhibit B doesn't call himself human.
Right.
Got it. All right. Continue.
Right. Yeah. And then at the end of the film, after the shark has been killed, you don't see the mayor for the rest of the film.
Exhibit C.
Now, mind you,
mayor. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Mind you, the end credits are the two remaining people who are alive, dragging their raft, their custom made raft up onto the beach, onto the shore. So there isn't really the opportunity for the mayor to stick his head out and go, "Hey guys, I was here all the time." But we all know what's what. Is all I'm saying.
Well, did you wait till after the credits? Where
there is no after credit scene.
No, after it says.
But I also
look. No, it says the mayor will return in Avengers Doomsday at the very end.
Mind you, I also have not watched Jaws 2, which I know that several of the cast members from the first film reprise their roles in the second film. So maybe he's in that, whether you want to consider it canon or not. Though I did see the the synopsis, like a little blurb about Jaws 3D, which came out in the year of our birth. Well, most of us, in 1983. And when a shark, I'm just pulling this from memory, but a shark gets stuck inside SeaWorld.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I feel like as a kid, I watched the third one the most because of the crazy premise.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I think it was just on the Sci-Fi Channel a lot. Remember the Sci-Fi Channel?
Heck yeah, man. Right on. So,
well, that's a very interesting theory, and it's now my headcanon that the shark is the mayor, and that's just that's real life now.
Right. And to Devin's point, the shark, like our desire for money and success in particular ways could be the shark as well. The desire to throw all caution to the wind and endanger the lives of the people just to make a quick buck.
Oh, people wouldn't do that.
Yep.
No way. Just to make money? You're kidding.
Yeah, that's science fiction.
It must be science fiction. That can't be real life. All right. Well, good. Besides the shark mayor theory, did you and your son enjoy Jaws as the world's first blockbuster movie?
Yes, it's an incredible film. Amazing cinematography. The acting is on point. It's really interesting watching the way that the townspeople are filmed and the way that they act. They don't feel like actors. They feel like real people fleshed out in this town, despite not having a lot of screen time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and it's odd watching it and having like memories that I know are now false. Because the big line is, "We're going to need a bigger boat." I thought they went and got a bigger boat. No. Spoiler alert. They don't get a bigger boat. There's no bigger boat to get.
I thought there was like a montage of them shopping for bigger boats and like looking at different parts and being like, "Oh, this isn't going to work. Look, this thing fell off."
That
or
was
they find a really nice boat, but then they look at the price and they shake their heads. No.
Yeah, the deleted scenes. I've got to check the deleted scenes because maybe that was.
And when they find the bigger boat, they jump up and high five, and it freezes in midair.
All through that scenario, you could see
Spielberg.
You could see the mayor in the background, like scared that they're going to buy a bigger boat, and then when they shake their heads, no, he gets all excited, like, "Yay, they're not going to get a bigger boat."
Yeah, he starts like pulling on his collar a little bit and going. This is the best film ever.
What about one last thing I'm going to ask about Jaws, the asteroid or the comet. What did you think about that?
I was curious about the meteor shower that happens in it, because it's not just one. There's like a couple of scenes in a row where you see multiple flashes across the sky.
Now,
is that supposed to have a meaning, or?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you ask J.J. Abrams, that was probably like a satellite falling to the ground and awakening a monster under the sea. and then it's Cloverfield.
Yeah.
No, like that scene, and I don't remember last time I watched Jaws. But I remember there's one scene in particular where the two characters in the boat are talking, and then in the sky in the background you see a big streak of a meteor or something, hitting re-entry, and there's like people don't know, like, was that a real meteor? Was that a special effect? Like, what's the deal? Turns out it's a special effect. So it was put in there on purpose. Like, that's an effect. So what is the meaning? That's a good question.
Yeah, I guess I had assumed it was a way to kind of delineate that, like, when you're out on the sea, it's not just like nothing ever happens, that there's constant life and growth and death happening out there,
Okay.
And that was just kind of a way of, like, a visual way of showing that, like, there are wonders to be found as well as terrors.
Okay, I hear you. Well, I mean, speaking of wonders and life and death, why don't you tell us about the fate of Cisco?
My friends. Oh my gosh. You guys, Starfleet Academy is a show that isn't going to be for everyone, but it's for me, my friends. It is really good. And the latest episode that came out, Series Acclamation Mill, named after Sam, the like a cadet at Starfleet Academy. That's the first of her kind. The first from Cask. She's an emissary from her people, which are a race of photonics, so holograms, that had shaken off the yoke of their makers back several centuries before, that made holograms in order to do menial labor. And they created their own society, became tremendously distrustful of organics, and just kind of started their own society. Well, what they did was they saw that Starfleet Academy was restarting, and they said, well, you know what, we're going to create a new photonic named Sam, Series Acclamation Mill. And here she is 217 days after she was created, going through, about to start the second semester of her studies as a first year at Starfleet Academy.
Can I hit the pause button real quick? Because if you're not like deep into Star Trek and you say the holograms were doing labor, as far as I know, a hologram is light. So what are you talking about?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So in starting in Star Trek: The Next Generation, there are the holodeck, right, which is a place.
Ben.
Starting in Star Trek: The Animated Series. Yes. Thank you. The recreation room. Yeah. So starting in the recreation room in Star Trek: The Animated Series back in 1971.
Sorry.
There was holograms there, and they are they're capable of interacting with humans, because they're able to take force fields and make them feel like they're actual tangible objects.
Okay.
This got to be kind of came to its head in Star Trek Voyager, when the doctor on board in the first episode is killed in the line of duty, and they have to activate the emergency medical hologram, who is a doctor that is only meant for short-term use, or rather a hologram. It's only meant for short-term use in order to kind of bridge the gap between, when you don't have a doctor able to heal people, and when you do get one. So the doctor then ends up having to work long-term and becomes an actual person, finds their personhood through all this. And after Star Trek Voyager, ends up living another 800 years and is now a a professor at Starfleet Academy in this new show.
Okay. Now, did they say why he chose to age himself up about 20 years, 30 years?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they said it in the first episode. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
But it was.
They
I would
mentioned it.
rather have that than have constantly de-aging special effects going on.
I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's meant to be the same doctor, not just
Yes.
a copy or another version or something. It's the same dude thing.
The same dude. Yeah.
Awesome. That's pretty cool.
So, so there's that, and that's going on. That's been kind of since the beginning of the show. This episode is sort of a spotlight on Sam, on Sirius Acclamation Mill, and her character and her relationship with the makers that she has back on Cask that are asking for updates, and they're overbearing parent-like figures that are really wanting. They're like, hey, you are taking too long telling us whether or not we can trust the organics, so you need to become you need to take a particular class called Confronting the Unexplainable, because then you'll get a fast track to getting all the answers that we need.
Okay.
So she's trying to take this class, and she meets a Cardassian professor named Isla, and played by Tawny Newsome.
Oh, really?
Who you would know as Beckett Mariner from Star Trek Lower Decks, who also wrote this episode.
Good for her.
Yes. So the idea here is that Sam's like, hey, I see that one of the main mysteries that this course covers is the mystery of what happened to Captain Sisko. And Professor Isla is like, well, it's too late in the semester. We're already at midterms. You cannot join our class. And but then kind of recants, like, well, if you solve the mystery of Captain Sisko, you could teach the class. I don't care. So
well, guess what? Is that what happens?
She tries. She examines a lot of what's going on with Captain Sisko, and I mean, spoiler alert, she comes across holographic recordings of Jake Sisko, Captain Sisko's son, talking about his father. Now, in real world stuff, Avery Brooks, who played Captain Benjamin Sisko, he retired back in 2013 from acting entirely. He now teaches at university. He's living his best life, and he has no interest in acting anymore.
Okay,
but this episode is such an incredible so it is funny, haha. It's written by Tawny Newsome, right? But also Tawny Newsome has an incredible taste for the history of Deep Space Nine, which is her favorite Star Trek series. You go, girl, is all I gotta say. And what she does is really, really, really good. The show is not going to be like it's played a bit more for laughs. It's not your typical Star Trek feeling show. So a lot of people might be turned off from that, but I'm here for it. It felt more like Farscape. It felt more like like college age stuff, as they're, going to bars, getting drunk, getting in bar fights,
bar fights,
romance. It's so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then
sounds interesting.
But then on the flip side, it has a very real discussion of who Captain Sisko was, and like as a father to Jake Sisko. And a lot more happens. I mean, I don't know how far you want me to go into this, but the basic gist of it is that like it helped me remember, for me, Deep Space Nine, I'm kind of realizing as an adult rewatching the episodes, how much Deep Space Nine was a bit of fantasy for me, a bit of like this idea, like having
Oh boy.
there was a lot going on around that time where I thought, oh hey, dealing with my mom and my stepdad, wouldn't it have been nice if I would have just lived with my father? That was a conversation that came up in my head quite a bit. And watching Deep Space Nine was a bit of wish fulfillment, because here was Avery Brooks playing essentially my space dad. He was, raising, a son, single parent in an environment that really was not for children whatsoever, with people getting stabbed in bars on the station all the time, and they're on the edge of war and all this stuff. Yet through all of that, Avery Brooks, like how he portrayed Captain Sisko specifically as a father to Jake, was something that really resonated with me quite a bit in terms of wish fulfillment.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and this episode, now that I've watched it 3 times,
whoa,
okay, is an incredible way of honoring that.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Cool. And they got the kid actor back.
Yes, Sirach Lofton plays Jake Sisko in a couple of scenes, and then, all right, spoiler alert.
Okay.
Tawny Newsome plays Professor Isla Dax.
Okay. Does that mean
and
something?
So she's the same symbiont Dax from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So now she's,
okay.
Yeah. Which is so incredible. And I really, really love this episode. And for very different reasons than I loved the last one. The last one felt like Star Trek with a capital ST. This one feels like a love letter and an examination of something that really is so important and foundational to me as a person. So it was a really, really personal, cool episode.
Excellent. Let's use that
and,
to segue.
Give me more.
Give Ben all the stuff that reminds him of a good childhood. But so for you had this tremendous show that you connected with, whereas I had this video game. I'm trying my best with these segues. This episode, you guys.
Sure. Yeah. Well, careful of any fallout that might happen for whatever you guys say.
Ah, you ruined it. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about Fallout now. Yeah, Fallout was very. It opened my eyes to role playing games, computer role playing games specifically. I didn't do tabletop role playing games for many years afterwards, but Fallout was my foundation. So I'm trying my best not to be some kind of Fallout apologist or anything for the show, and I don't think it needs to be apologized for. I thoroughly enjoyed the second season of Fallout on Amazon Prime. The finale was last week, and so now all I have to do is look forward to season 3. So, Devin, you told me that you finished this season as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that some of my buddies that I played some of the Fallout games with had some things to say about it. So I'm curious your thoughts on the second season of the Fallout TV show, Devin.
Generally, they are negative.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I watched it with Jen. We both liked the first season a lot, and we were really looking forward to the second season.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the way through the second season, we both felt like nothing was actually happening.
Okay.
And there's things that happen in the episodes, but the overall story, we both felt like, well, has anything like these characters haven't really done anything, and you can go into like each individual story,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of detail like the one part that I was like, and this was maybe starting in the early in the season, was the stuff with the Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I see. There's going to be like a civil war within the Brotherhood. We're setting this up, and this is going to take place in the backdrop of what's going on in the other plot lines. And that's just one episode. It sets it up, and it's just the one character who we already know is part of the Brotherhood, who we followed in the first season. It's just him getting out of the Brotherhood and then walking back into the original plot, sort of, and the Brotherhood's just forgotten. And I was like, I thought that was the most interesting thing that happened this season, and that was not a setup for the rest of the season. That was just a single episode. And then like the other guy who has like he's stuck in a vault at the end of the last season, and in this season I mean, I'm spoilers. It doesn't matter if we
I
go
mean,
into
yeah,
spoilers.
spoilers. We're going to talk spoilers for the season. Go ahead.
I mean, his story
Go for
is,
it.
you know, he takes a lot of people out of the cryo sleep, and they're people from the
They're buds.
vault tech, yeah, and that kind of just doesn't go anywhere. And then, I mean, it does again. Like you could technically say, like, yeah, by the end, he's not with them. It's like, yeah, but it took like 5 episodes for him to do one thing, and that's just kind of how it felt for everybody. And the main characters, the ghoul, and then I forgot her name. What's her name?
Lucy.
Lucy going to find her dad in New Vegas, and the ghoul's his main motivation is to find his family. And it's just like, okay, going from point A to point B over the course of an entire season, and we don't actually get there. She does, and her being the main character, we start off with. Well, I guess no. I guess the ghoul is the character we start off with in the first season. But anyway, I just like she felt like her character was very understated and didn't have a lot to do. It just felt like there was a lot of different plots going on, but nothing was happening. And then by the end of the season, Jen and I were both like, I mean, her more so. I was the one who was always like, oh, let's watch the next episode. I'm like, I'm interested enough to keep watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, yeah, I guess so. And it's like, we didn't know what was going on, but also it felt like nothing was going on. So it just seemed like a filler of a season.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, to end with the ghoul, like, oh, he finally gets to see where his family is. And it's like, nope, your family's in another castle. Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just a lot of that. And like the stuff with like, oh, there's always a bigger fish, there's always someone else in control. It's like, okay, what? Just layers. It's just an onion. Okay. Just we need things to happen that answer questions, like, just, I don't know, something that feels significant, like we're like the story is moving, not just more mysteries.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, a lot of what you're saying I've heard, from other friends and stuff. So I enjoyed the season, but that was kind of a given. It's so this is so bizarre, like that this thing even exists. And I think what we've run into here is that this second season is the wish fulfillment season for the creators. It's like the first season was like, all right, we have to establish the world, we have to get the characters down, we have to make sure all of these parts can move together and make sense. And it's not easy. I mean, the world of Fallout's bizarre. And the fact that the first season did as well as it did is a testament to it's a something to how great the creators of the show are. And then this season felt like
Testament.
Thank you. This season 2 felt like okay, we got us started, we got people on board. Now let's do something for us. And Fallout New Vegas was like one of the most beloved games of the series, and had so many choices, so many things to interact with. The story was incredible. All this stuff, incredible world building. And so to then take this season and say, all right, well, we're going to go there. Super exciting for the fans. Like, yeah, this is the place that everyone wants to know about. Let's do it. So there was a lot of, member berries. Like every episode I could pause 5 or 6 times, point to something and be like, here's why this is here. And this is what this means. But does it matter to the plot that's happening right now? No, it doesn't. The other bit that is unfortunate is that these video games have alternate endings. Depending on how you play the game there is no canon ending, right? There is no like, oh, this is actually what happened. Every game is very careful to not step on the player choices from the previous games. Sometimes, some things kind of have to be canonized one way or another, and usually it's small stuff, and I'm not going to get into that. New Vegas had such a plethora of endings, and there were so many different sides that we thought as the fans of New Vegas and of the show, like, okay, what are they going to do? They have to address and answer some of these questions. And boy, oh boy, did they tiptoe around all of them with grace, and they just bounced on a thin wire for so much of it. And ultimately, I think that was to a detriment, because the average viewer, like for example, you, Devon, you and your wife, you don't see that. You don't see the deftness that they're dancing around with the story. And I think that was a detriment to the season, because it did not have very much momentum. Again, they did not. They just kind of skipped around the world without any thought for like how much time is passing. How far away are these places? Like all that stuff again was just swept under the rug. Which some of that's just TV stuff, but whatever. But they still got the vibe right, if that makes sense. It still felt like Fallout. So anyways, my excuse to make myself feel okay about all this is that the creators really wanted to play in the New Vegas sandbox. That was their dream, and they did. And now we can move on. And the move on part is going to be the ghoul going towards Colorado. And now we're in like finally brand new location. The first 2 Fallout games took place on the West Coast. The New Vegas was obviously the Mojave region. Fallout 3 and 4 were on the East Coast. The Fallout Tactics is a Brotherhood of Steel based game that is not really a role-playing game, and that took place more in the middle of the country, give or take, but it's also not really considered canon. Some parts of it are, some parts of it aren't, because it was kind of bizarre. And so it feels like to me season 1 was, let's get everything established, let's hit all the points. We got vaults, we got ghouls, we have power armor, we've got the Brotherhood, like all of this stuff. Like here's the world that we're all living in. Deal. Second season, oh man, we really want to play in the New Vegas sandbox. Here we go, we did it. Now let's move on and do something truly original. And that's what I'm really hoping. Got all my fingers crossed for season 3 that there's not going to be any of these member berries. There's not going to be like, oh, remember this, remember that. Oh, look at this thing. Because there is nothing in that area that for the gamers to glom onto, right? New Vegas immediately was like, this building's in the wrong place. Like, what are they doing? These casinos weren't that close. Like, and that's all nonsense. Who cares? But like, when they're going away from that area to Colorado, there are no Fallout games set in Colorado. They can make up everything as they want to. Now, the other bit is the Enclave, which is the deep state government thing, and that's where Wilzig was from in the first season, where he smuggled out he got the dog meat. He smuggled out the thing in his neck, and that was from the Enclave is the remnants of the U.S. government that they were like, hey, everything's going to go to heck, so we need to have all of our contingency plans. They're the shadow behind everything else. And they were semi-defeated both in Fallout 2 and in Fallout 3. And then they weren't really around for Fallout 4. But now it seems like, they're somewhere doing a thing, which to me is fine. I like the super mutant thing. We can get into that. Ron Perlman being a super mutant. That's big spoilers there.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, I thought they were going to be part of it, but it seems like that's just a setup for next season.
That sounds like it's set up. Yeah. All the FEV stuff, the forced evolutionary virus, like that's all deep lore Fallout stuff that there's going to be talked about more next season, I'm sure. Because that was the U.S. government wanted to do that. They want to turn people into super mutants and stuff. And you can only do that if you have a non-radiated genome. So people from Vault, it's perfect to turn them into super mutants because they're not all messed up from the Wasteland. But when you have somebody like Thaddeus, who perhaps was exposed to FEV, he doesn't just turn into a ghoul, he turns into something else. So yeah, they've got all these little threads in there about the super mutants, the forced evolutionary virus, and really super mutants are like the one staple of Fallout that they haven't touched yet until they touched it, and quickly in this episode or in this season. But like in most games, there's a bunch of super mutants running around, big, hulking green or yellowish.
That is, I kept expecting those to show up, and then when I heard that the Ron Perlman thing, it's like, okay, that's a super mutant, but then I'm like, okay, that's a setup.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's totally set up. And I think what we're going to see is that, secretly, behind the scenes, why we're not seeing so many super mutants is that the Enclave has been out there eradicating them. And that's what the Ron Perlman super mutant was alluding to with the ghouls. Like, hey, there's another war coming, and it's us against the Enclave. Us being, the weird mutant things versus these people that want the old world to go back to how it was. And so that's the lead up for next season. I have no idea. Like, I'm cool following the ghoul story. I like it. I liked all the flashbacky stuff to like figure out, well, what was he doing in Vegas and who does he know and all this stuff. And like the traveling of the cold fusion diode, like who took it from who to go where and all that stuff. And there is only one. So this is the same one that's been, that you see in the past is the same one that's in the present. The other bit that they didn't touch on, I thought they would say something about it, but they kind of really didn't, is that the house that the ghoul turns on isn't the house from the game. Because what they allude to in the show is that house, who is super old, in a cryotube, his brain connected to everything. Like, you can find that in the game, and you can kill him essentially. And so just by exposing him to the air, by taking him out, so you can. The thought, like, that's one of your options in the game is to kill him. Another option is to just ignore him and do other things. But the way that the show seems like any of those options could be true. And then somehow House was taken out, which he alludes to when he's talking to the ghoul. But then he made a backup of himself that's only in the computer, and that's what activates when the ghoul puts the cold fusion in the thing and turns it on. So those are actually different houses. But also, I think, come season 3, it's not going to matter because we're all going to move on to Colorado anyway and move past it. And I think that's how this show should go, that we should perhaps move to a location, do some things, and then move on. I don't know. That's enough Fallout talk. Geez, we're already at 43 minutes. I really enjoyed the second season of Fallout. I don't think it was perfect. And it did.
What did have friends think that you were mentioning?
Well, about the same stuff. Some of the plot threads they just couldn't get behind, like the mind control device thing on the back of people's heads. There was one guy that was just like, I hate that whole plot line. And I was like, oh, just things like that are just not really like.
Well, the way it made everybody happy was kind of like pluribus. We're like, this is a little bit of pluribus in here.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of that mind effery, if you will. Yeah. It's interesting. Like, one of the other things that I see with the show is that when you really stop to think about it, like every episode had like 5 plot lines, 2 different timelines. Like they have to deal with canon stuff from video games and brand new characters. And like, they are juggling so much for this show, and for it to come out and be a show that makes sense. Like you got just the character, the lady with one eye that we find out it's Canadian. Oh no. Like, and like the lore behind the US annexing Canada, like they put all of that in there and they didn't have to, and they did. And I think that's so cool. Anyways, there's a lot of really cool stuff in Fallout Season 2 for the fans of the video games, not so much for fans from the first season, which is unfortunate. But hey, we've got a Season 3, and I think Season 3 is make it or break it time. They really got to jazz it up for Season 3 to get people back on board, or it's going to be over. Walton Goggins, though, as the Ghoul, it's #1 pick right there. He does fantastic at that character, I think. I mean, I dig Lucy too. I dig all of them. Like, one other theory, I'm just going to keep talking about Fallout. I'm sorry. One other theory about these characters, which may make the show make more sense in retrospect, but it is the 3 main characters of Maximus, Lucy, and the Ghoul are 3 different play styles that you can play Fallout. The Ghoul being like the role player, just getting in there and doing everything like as their character should be. Lucy's the new character or the new person playing Fallout who's never played before, so it's all brand new to her. And Maximus is the character who, like, I'm just here to like put on power armor and fight stuff. Like, that's all I want to do in my playthrough. And they're all valid playthrough styles. And that's what's so great about Fallout is you can take that tact with any of your characters and play that way, and it is still a fun game. And so I want to say that that's kind of a nod to that. That's just me and internet theory talking about those characters, though. It makes a little more sense if you think about them that way, because they're not fully rounded out, fleshed out characters. The Ghoul more than any others, but Maximus is a real one-note guy. And I've heard him talk, and like, he seems like he's a bad actor in the show to me. Like, he's not great, but then when you hear him talk outside of the show, you're like, oh, he's doing, like, how he's acting in the show, like that's how he's been directed to act. That's on purpose. So I don't know, just kind of odd. Anyways, let's move on. Again, Future and Now. We are out of time again for Future and Now stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, Future. Get out of here with your with what's going on in the real world with science.
I mean, I want to talk about these things, but we're out of time. So
yeah, we're out of time.
That's fine. Good. We're going to take ourselves a little break. When we come back, we're doing book club. Next week, no real life. Next week, all science. We will, like, we have a little note in our notes saying real life, 5 minutes each. That's a lie. That's a big lie. So yeah, we should get back to that at least for one episode, to talk about some of the science stuff that's been sticking around for a few weeks here. Anyways, we're going to take a break. Go read the Orchard Village catalog by Parker Peavyhouse. There's a link in the show notes. That's what we read this week, and we're going to talk about it when we come back. So we'll be right back. Oh, wow. Another free listener. Incredible. Look, I love that you're here, but let's be real. You could be getting so much more. Bonus episodes, unfiltered takes, behind-the-scenes chaos. All you have to do is join our Patreon at patreon.com/sciencefactionpodcast. Or don't. But if you don't, just know that somewhere in a parallel universe, a better version of you already has. And we're back.
Heyo.
Hello.
Hey.
And a great big thank you to our patrons, Renee and Josh. You guys rock, and we hope you enjoyed a lot more Fallout talk during the mid break. way more than anyone ever asked for, and I'm so thankful for Stephen, for my wonderful co-host Stephen, who like now I know, now we all know.
I know too much. I should use his brain power for other things than remembering Fallout lore.
Well, we'll see. But next week we're going to be reading a story by Isaac Asimov called Liar. Which originally was published back in May 1941 in Astounding Science Fiction, and then included in the book I, Robot from 1950. So going way back. I love a good Asimov story. And though I will tell you that I'm the first to say that not all Asimov stories are good Asimov stories. Sometimes they're not great on the characterization, so I'm curious about how this one will be.
Yeah, looks interesting.
Yeah.
But what are we reading this week?
What are we reading this week? We are reading a story called The Orchard Village Catalog by Parker Peavyhouse from Strange Horizons.
Yes.
Yep.
Did we all read it?
Start? Yes, we all did.
We all read it.
I did.
I'll start. So this story it is in a feels like a near future
dystopia, but everything in the near future seems pretty dystopic.
I mean, everything in present future feels a little dystopic. But yeah,
it feels very, very of now, though.
It does.
It doesn't feel so future.
It feels like a very cramped future where there's not enough space for everyone, and trying to figure things out is very difficult. The main character keeps talking about how when they go to work, they're shoved in different places, different corners, repeatedly. They also have a roommate that really loves geese, 3D printed little geese from the Untitled Goose Game. The story talks about like Reddit and stuff. Like, it's very present feeling. But the whole deal with the Orchard Village catalog is this character gets a catalog saying, hey, you've been, or she applies for it. I think she, do we know? I don't remember the main character.
I listened to it, and I think the narrator sounded male, so I just in my head made it a dude.
Okay. For some reason in my head, the main character was female, but I don't think the story told us one way or the other. I could be incorrect, however. I'm just gonna do a Go ahead.
It's interesting because I assumed it was a male that had a female roommate, but I didn't listen to it. Which now I'm like, oh well, they've got a female roommate, huh?
All right. Well, I'm just gonna they them then. They apply for this housing thing. And the idea is that there's this new housing development that's being made. Their company will pay for half of their rent, and just like on a whim they apply for it. Like, maybe this is something that'll happen, and then they get sent the Orchard Village catalog, which is this new development called Orchard Village. And this catalog has all of these different types of rooms or apartments or homes available. Doesn't really say, but they are kind of odd. They have a lot of quirks to them, and it almost seems like some of them are meant for lower level employees and some of them are meant for higher level employees, but all you have to do is just kind of pick a unit that you want and submit and see if you get it. And then the story kind of goes on from there, I guess. Does someone want to pick up the thread from here?
Well, it seems to me that the idea is you pick a place and then you see if you got it, but it doesn't tell you why you didn't get it, because you choose it and it says, what's the phrase?
Something failed.
What
was the phrase? None of us know what the phrase was, but we're all looking. Selection failed.
Selection failed.
Yeah, selection failed.
Mm-hmm.
But does it say anything? Doesn't give a little bit more information, or no?
It just says
failed.
selection failed is all it says.
And that actually kind of leads into the entire like back half of the story, which is, are these is this real? Like, is this selection process real, or is it some kind of weird Briggs-Myers test, or Myers-Briggs test, or is it like what even is this? Will they ever move into a new place?
Yeah, does it even exist? Is this just a sociology experiment or psychology?
But all of that is framed through coworkers talking about it, but no like evidence for anything. It's just like rumors in the office.
Yeah.
Until
and then HR calls them in and asks for a blood sample.
Yeah.
For who knows why.
Yeah,
but also mentions that their actions have been exceptionally weird lately in regarding this the selection of their place in here. And it's like, well, how much are you following along with what it is I'm doing throughout my life? Turns out quite a bit, and they need a blood sample for reasons they won't go into.
I mean, that does feel like this near dystopian future where you're at your office job and they're like, we're gonna need your blood now. Like, what? But I'm doing data entry. Like, yeah, but we need to take some blood just to make sure.
I mean, it's interesting. Okay, so we use Discord to record this podcast.
In part,
Discord is coming out. Yeah, Discord's coming out with new information, or basically requiring age verification for certain parts of their interface in order to gatekeep content that is more mature.
Okay.
And so part of that is an AI based facial scanning information sort of thing that never leaves your device. But if that fails, they will accept you taking a photo of your government issued ID and appealing the verification process that way. This comes on the heels of Discord having a data breach last year, or I don't know if it was Discord, but somebody else had a data breach last year where a lot of government issued ID photos got out in the open. And so, yeah, it's kind of an interesting situation where, like, any kind of community, whether virtual or real, has things that are happening in it that they're doing in order to either protect their interests or, or they're required to from governments, and that are trying to get ahead of issues of identity theft. And how do they go about that? How does one get protection from that sort of stuff? I don't know. A lot of people are really, really concerned about Discord right now, but as I would be too, if my office was like, we're going to analyze your blood and figure out what's wrong with you.
Well, okay, so this is where I have a problem with the story, because we never know, and there's never even a hint of what's really going on here. Because by the end, and even like when she goes into HR and they end up saying, oh, we need your blood. The blood/personality test is a new idea. I thought you'd be a good candidate for early testing when I found your weird catalog next to the coffee machine this morning. And so they don't really make a connection there that they are really together. And then at the very end of the story, the main character, they pick, let's see, at 8 a.m. I opened the Orchard Village webpage and entered the number of a unit I thought I might like to live in. Sun tunnel skylights, stained glass entryway window, flooring made from cherry wood reclaimed from the old orchard. I didn't expect to get it. At 10 a.m. I checked the webpage. Selection approved. Yeah. And that's how the story ends. I didn't You guys, I didn't get it.
Well, before that, it does say that the person took a ride share out past the turnoff for optionality, and then they saw a new development and thought it might be Orchard Village. So did that have anything to do with it? Like actually going out and trying to find it and seeing it?
Or
somehow?
was it because she allowed them, or they allowed them to take the blood? That is the thing that made the selection approved.
Well,
Was it
even
by
though the selection's approved, that doesn't mean it's real, or that, that doesn't actually confirm anything just because it says that.
right? Yeah, like very weird. And a lot of the sample, like when they were saying like, oh, this whole thing might just be some kind of personality test. Like I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea, because a lot of these rooms or dwellings are very bizarre. Like what was the weird one? Let's see. I pick a unit no one else would pick. Literally the most bizarre one I could find. Only a borderline psycho would choose a unit I entered into the website. But what was it?
It had to do with like swans or something. No, moths. It was like
moths.
Oh,
here we go.
Themed.
By Thursday morning, I had honed in on the most unsettling listing in the whole catalog. A unit no sane person would select. All glass interior walls, living room with artificial salmon run, porous bedroom furniture for the sweaty or incontinent sleeper, ceiling mural depicting the life cycle of a hornet moth, pickleball simulator, and holographic backhand coach. Like what? So like at that point I was like, oh, like each depending on which room that you say that you want, that like means something about you, and maybe that's what this is all about. But it's never confirmed in the story, or even like leaning one way or the other what's really going on here. I didn't or I just didn't get it. There's something I'm missing. I don't know. Guys, anything?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think I think that the basic gist of this is keep your eyes out. Like, I don't know. It's interesting. Like it never answers it definitively, about what's actually going on. But that unsettling feeling of, well, you do what you're told, and you're part of a larger organization, and just keep on moving forward. Like that's what gets under your skin a little bit with this, which is fascinating to me. So
it is. Yeah. It does have a bit of the like, hey, your life is awful. We've made your life awful. Now make a choice, and we'll see which choice you make, since your life is now so awful.
Well, yeah, like, well, I mean, even the name of the company, Optionality. What the hell is that?
Well, I was wondering what kind of work they do, because the main character, no one talks about like actually what the work is, right?
No,
yeah, just talks about like not doing it in favor of picking out their next corporate sponsored living space. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one.
Kind of wild. Yeah. But I'm here for it because it feels a lot like corporate nonsense that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, like it was propulsive. It got me through the entire thing. Read it, it was real quick and easy.
It was well written, for sure.
Yeah. And it was creepy enough, just creepy enough for me to be down for it. So yeah, for me, this one was a pretty good one.
Devin, what do you think?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I was listening to, like, I was like, okay, what's going to happen next? Like, are they going to try to figure out some kind of puzzle, or there's all the speculation. It's just, you don't get anything to say, like what the, what's actually going on. So it's a little annoying. I mean, I get that the idea is to kind of leave it open-ended so you can kind of do your own thing, but I don't know, maybe a little bit more hints at a couple different things it could be. But I did enjoy it, actually. Yeah, I was intrigued by it.
Okay. It's fascinating when you have a story where the main character isn't the main character of the story. That's kind of what's going on here. Like, they're not, the narrator is not figuring out the mystery or diving in deep. Like, there's kind of skipping off the edge of this, the sides of this mystery. And
the unknowable corporate hellscape that they are stuck in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so like it operates on vibes in really effective ways. Personally for me.
Yeah. To me, it was kind of annoying that there is not even the tiniest bit of closure with this story about what's really happening. But while reading it, I was, like Ben said, propelled through it. It was a good read. Just by the time I got to the end, I was like, okay, well, what's the thing? What's the reveal? What's the, whatever it is? And then there was nothing. Just now it's over. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Or, there's the next thing, which is going to be, now that it's been selected, is it, it seems like that's real, but is that the end of it? You don't know. You don't know if they're actually going to be moving into a new apartment or not.
Right.
If it's going to look anything like what's been advertised to them.
There was one line in this story that I thought was the best line in the whole thing. And I'm trying to find it now. It was when the main character is talking to HR, and they're talking about like what responsibility the corporation has.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the line. I can't find it. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Your employer is under no obligation to make your dreams come true.
There it is. That's a great line. That line popped out at me hard. Yeah. And really that's true, because there's a lot of like, for those of us that work a office corporate type job, which I once upon a time I did, so I get it. You're replaceable. And as much as the people around you might be your friends or appear to be your friends, or we're all family here. Like, no, if you die, you are replaceable. Like you are not as irreplaceable as you think you are. Right. And it's a business. It's not a family. It's a business. And so So I thought that was a really good line. Which I still can't. I'm scrolling back and forth. I still can't find it. It doesn't matter. But that's what
it's right near the end. But yeah,
I'm sure it is.
All right. Well, my friends,
fine. You got to go.
Yes.
All right. So we are wrapping it up there. Next week, Liar by Isaac Asimov. Links in the show notes. If you wanted to read the Orchard Village catalog, the link for that's also in the show notes. Read it. Let us know what you thought about it. Devin, you got any final thoughts in that brain of yours?
No, I do not.
Oh, excellent. It's nothing but guitar solos. I get it.
Yep.
Ben, do you have any last words for us?
Yeah. Yesterday I picked up a new thesaurus. It's a real dreadful thesaurus. And not only is it dreadful, it is dreadful.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.